Yeah, what is going on, everybody? We back with another episode of From My Experience podcast. I am your host, Rob, and I'm hyped today because I am talking about one of my favorite topics, relationships. Building relationships, not just the romantic ones, but the business ones, the friendships, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to you, our listeners, followers, subscribers. Thank you for continuing to support the show. From My Experience podcast on Facebook, FME_podcast on Instagram. And don't forget, you can also support the show by shopping with our affiliates. The Linktree link is in the description. We have Acre Gold. We have Garner's Garden, and we have Jot Forms. But how y'all feeling though? Y'all good? I hope y'all feeling good out there. I hope you're having a great day. If not, hopefully you will take the words of encouragement from this episode and use them to change your attitude and your altitude. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into it right now. Shout out to Romo for the music. Appreciate it. I want to start with a little bit of I don't want to say disclaimer. In a future episode, not this current episode, we're gonna talk about Bill Cosby being released from prison. I think I'm gonna have a little bit of a different take on that. There's a lot surrounding that situation. And before I speak on things, I really like to do some research and read up on some facts. I'm not going to give y'all a presentation, but if I'm going to talk about something, I'll actually want to know what I'm talking about. Also, we're going to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson and what happened with her in the Olympics. Again, I want to do a bit more research so that I can come on here and give you all some facts if you don't already have the facts. And just to give my take on things, I might sprinkle some of my opinion in there, but I just wanted to let it be known that we don't be over here just ignoring stuff. But, everybody and their mama loves to put out stuff and talk about things without gathering facts first, and that's not fair to the people you're talking about, in my opinion. But, what are you going to do? But peace, prayers, and blessings to her. That's a lot of attention for such a young person on such a big platform. So peace, prayers, and blessings to her. Today, though, I'm going to be talking about reconnecting, building relationships, and having mutually beneficial relationships. Just going to lump it all together, right? So I'm talking about this because as of late, I've been having some dynamic conversations. I've been making some serious headway with people and just broadening my horizons. How have I done it? I picked up my phone. I thought about the people who I've had conversations with and we've kind of tossed things around but never went anywhere. And also just taking a look at some of the people in my life who are actually doing something and saying, that's not a bad idea. Let me pick their brain, right? So reconnecting. So we all get to this point to where, as adults, we develop what is called a life. We call it adulting, right? And adulting gets in the way of everything. So what I had to do was take advantage of the free time that I do have and say, okay, let me put some of this adulting to the side, some of my laziness to the side. Who haven't I talked to in a while? And I'm going to give a couple of just special shout outs. One, my mentor, Mr. Corbin J. Millett. We talk 3 to 4 times a week. He just does mental health check-ins with me. I do the same thing with him. But I also toss business ideas off of him. And I love it. That's my brother from another mother for life. And I thank God for him and everything that he's taught me. And he has been just a godsend, just a blessing to me. But that's a relationship that developed a while ago, and I had to remain in that relationship and do my part in that relationship by keeping the lines of communication open and keeping it 100. He helps me balance myself mentally. When I'm tripping or just off the rails or things aren't going well, he just seems to know it. He hits me up. Boom, we have a conversation and I feel better already. It's mutually beneficial. I understand what he's going through as a broker in charge at a real estate agency. I I got to see a lot. So I know the levels of stress and frustration, and sometimes I'm a sounding board. And not just the frustrations, but the success. I share in his success, he shares in my success. And it's great to know I have more, okay? But it's great to have at least one person that quote unquote, that gets it or that gets you. So there's that one. Another special shout out to the homie. Shout out to the HBCU podcast, Natasha Carter. Tasha, thank you. Man, actually, I just met with her right before I recorded this. Yo, we did something last year. We had a webinar to basically talk to people about starting a podcast and giving them tips and tricks. Not really tricks, but facts. And we tossed around some ideas about future plans. And then, we just not lost contact, but we just weren't consistent, right? And I was sitting around one day and I was like, yo, no. Let me go through my iPad, look at my notes. And I looked at what we did and I was like, nah, we need to fix this. So I hit her up and boom. Now we have a schedule and we've come up with such a great idea and just, we're fleshing it out. The meetings run smooth. It feels great. We just kind of get each other, and we both have a passion for podcasting, so that helps as well. But again, the relationship piece, I had to do my part. I had to reach out. I had to say, okay, what can we do to make sure we keep this thing going? Schedule. And y'all know I've talked about scheduling on here a long time ago, and even as of late. Man, get a freaking schedule. I'm telling you, if you get a schedule or you get a calendar and you put things on your calendar and you treat the things on your calendar like they're real, you got to treat them like they're not optional. Like me and Erica, shout out to Erica Brooks. Erica, yeah, the first ever intern with From My Experience podcast. Me and Erica meet 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It is on my calendar. It is non-negotiable. Unless there's an emergency with her or me, that time is not free. Don't call me for drinks. Don't call me to go on a date. Don't say you want to come over and rub my back. Nah, I got to do this. Okay? Treat it like work. Treat it like it's work, which technically it is, right? And then now I meet with Tasha on Tuesdays. So Monday through Thursdays, I have afternoon meetings. And I let people know, hey, when people ask me to go out or, hey, look, I got meetings on these days and times. So it's going to have to be after this time or we need to pick another day. You know what I'm saying? So but back to the point. Me and Tasha are working on a few things. We're meeting. It's going great. It's going well. If she's listening, we're probably going to end up having to meet twice a week instead of once a week because now things are getting a little thick. And I love it. I love it, man. But again, that's a relationship that goes back quite a few years, actually. And, just continue to water it. Nurture it. And it's not just business. We talk to each other, we have casual conversations, as I do with all my friends, but especially the people that I work with. You definitely want to make sure that it ain't always just work. You really want to know who you are working with. And, I haven't said this since the beginning, but when it comes to being mutually beneficial, right? And I'm going to shout out one more person in a minute. But when it comes to being mutually beneficial, I believe you should be getting something out of every relationship and every connection you have with the person. It doesn't matter who it is. And it doesn't have to be monetary. It doesn't have to be tangible. But it should be, there should be a positive benefit, because dealing with people, building relationships, having conversations, hanging out, All of those things, right? That takes time, effort, energy, sometimes finances. So you have to look at the return. Well, you don't have to, but I would advise you to look at the return. The reason I say that is because I was the guy who, in high school, I was the guy that could sit at any lunch table. Everybody knew Rob. Rob was the funny guy, but he was cool, upfront, honest, right? But when I had to find myself and really find, like, all right, where do I fit? Nowhere really, because I'm an introvert. But I'm like, where do I enjoy spending my time? I enjoy spending the majority of my time with my freaks and geeks. Let me take the freak part out, because that might be a little. With my geeks and nerds, right? That I love, pop culture, video gaming, Comic Con conventions, all that stuff. So that's where I just kind of found my place. But when I spend time with those fellas and those ladies, we have great conversations and we impart knowledge upon each other. It's not just fun and games all the time, but the fun and games are fun. And so back to what I was saying about being mutually beneficial. When you really sit down and think about it, think about who you call the most, who you text the most, who do you spend the time with the most. What are you honestly getting from them? Because, and I'm not telling you how to choose your friends or who to be friends with or who to deal with, but everyone that I am the closest with, that I spend the most time with, that I talk to the most, are helping naturally, mind you, helping me grow personally and professionally. They are literally making my life better. They are making my days easier. They're lightening the burden of stress. They make me feel good about being me. They are validating some of the ideas and invalidating the ones that need to be invalidated. You know what I'm saying? So I have a great core group of people that are giving me what I actually need. I do have people feeling wants as well. Sometimes we want attention. Sometimes we want to laugh. Sometimes we want love. You know what I'm saying? And those things also count as being mutually beneficial. But there are also those relationships that will drain you. And you have to be careful of those because sometimes, Rob plays counselor. And people like to call and what I call dump on me. Not like that. But I call it dumping. Something is wrong. Something catastrophic, quote unquote catastrophic, has happened to them. And they call and they give you an hour and a half rant about all their woes, downtime, blah, 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 whoop, de whoop. You give them a couple words of encouragement. They get off the phone. Now they've left all of that on your plate. And that shit gets heavy. Let's be real. It gets heavy when you have, when that person, when they call your phone, you roll your eyes or you, oh God. Like we've all been there. I'm pretty sure a majority of us have been there, right? I'm not saying to get rid of those friends, but have conversations with them. Let them know, hey, I don't have capacity for that today. Can we talk about something else, or can we talk about this at a later time, or figure out what other parts. What's the words? I'm at a loss for words. Figure out what else you can gain from that relationship, other than them calling and dumping on you. Like, okay, well, what else is here between the two of us, other than you going through stuff all the time? Shift the narrative is what I'm trying to say, basically. So. But you have to have a good balance when it comes to your relationships, And I have frat brothers where we don't talk, we don't text, but we will Instagram message each other the funniest, weirdest, craziest stuff, and that's just our relationship. You know what I'm saying? One of my line brothers is like that. I ain't talked to him in a minute. Don't text him, but he's the only one that I talk to on Instagram. Then I have others that I have another line brother where we only text. I have another line brother where we talk on the phone. And all those relationships are different. And I get something different out of all those relationships. So I say all that to say, look at your relationships and see what you're honestly getting from them. And if you're not satisfied with what you're getting, shift the narrative. Try to get what it is that you need. And I'm not telling you to go out here and finesse people and use people and take from them. But if it's not a meaningful relationship and it's not beneficial both ways, you might want to consider severing that tie. And the reason I say that is because the less time you spend in areas that aren't benefiting you and helping you grow, the more time you have for the areas and the relationships that will help you grow and that will benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you shift them to a more passive role. But that's just my 2 cents. But the last person I want to shout out is my boy CV Carl Van. You know, I met Carl Van back in 2000, probably 7 or 8, and cool guy. Then we kind of reconnected. You know what I'm saying, in maybe 18 or 19, and me and CV bounce ideas off of each other all the time. Like I vent, like he's like a counselor. And I do the same for him, man. And it's really dope. And it's a mutually beneficial relationship. He's one of the people that I can be the most creative with. Like I can just let all of my creative ideas go out. And he is a managing genius. He knows how to take somebody's idea, break it apart, break it down, and says and analyze it, and gives you questions to think about when it comes to what it is you're trying to do. He's the reason why we're building our own website. But yeah, so shout out to my boy CV, man. I appreciate that. He's really helped me with my confidence as far as coming up with ideas, believing in ideas, and pursuing the ideas and trying things that are outside of the box and doing what I can do instead of trying to burn all your money and outsource all the time. Outsourcing is good. There is a time and place for outsourcing, absolutely. But when you're starting out, if there are things you can do and you have time to do it, do it. Save the money if you can. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to highlight those 3 relationships because that's what they do for me. Even my relationship with Erica, the first ever intern with From My Experience podcast. Yeah. Great mutually beneficial relationship. I'm teaching her any and everything I know about podcasting, lifting the curtain, showing her everything. And she's helping me with social media managing. She's helping me with design. She's helping me with communication. She's teaching me things and I'm teaching her things. We have a great time. We laugh, we joke, but we get the work done and it's always a pleasant interaction. I feel when it comes to those 4 people that I mentioned, I feel refueled after talking to them. I don't feel drained. Now, I know every relationship can't be like that, but you have the power to choose who you interact with and who you build relationships with. So think about that. You know, are a majority of your relationships fulfilling or not? Mine are. And honestly, the ones that aren't, even if it's someone you're connected to, whether it be family, close friend, childhood friend, you can love them, you can communicate with them, but, you know, limit your interactions. Like, yo, hey, you got 30 minutes for them? Y'all know the lines we give them. Hey, man, let me go finish. Yeah, I'm about to walk into the store. Oh, yeah, man, my mom called me. Let me call you. We do it. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. We give the excuse to get off the phone when they start talking what we call peanuts. That's an inside joke. But, yeah. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's all I got for you. That's all I got for you today. You know, short, sweet, simple. I challenge you and I encourage you to look at your relationships, analyze your relationships. Are your relationships fulfilling? If they aren't, I challenge you to change the narrative of those relationships or broaden your horizons and build new ones. You probably have someone in your phone like that. I'll bring Natasha's name back up. Ben had her number. She's been on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Did I do the HBC? I think I did her podcast too. I did do her podcast. We've been on each other's podcast, but I just never tapped into the relationship. Now, you know what I'm saying? We're almost like peanut butter and jelly. And it's like, why didn't I think about this before? So I'm pretty sure you have some of those people in your phone as well. All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give y'all the thoughts of a black man and some encouraging words of a black man, and then we're gonna get on out of here. But my brothers, this message is for you right here. Hey, hey. To all my wonderful, powerful, strong, intelligent, hardworking, dedicated, respectful, honorable black men, I challenge you this week to build a new relationship. Find somebody new or someone that you just have not given a chance or really haven't talked to that much, and build a relationship with that person. I challenge you to find someone, like I mentioned, Corwin or Natasha or Erica or Carl. I challenge you, black man, because, you know, we put a lot on our shoulders. We try to act like we can handle everything. I got this. I don't need nobody. I challenge you to scroll through your phone, scroll on social media, send a random message. Yo, man, let's chop it up one day. Y'all can hang out, talk, and build with somebody new. Build with somebody you don't normally build with. Expand your circle. Broaden your horizons. You know, maybe you have a talent or a hobby you're interested in, and, you know what I'm saying, your immediate circle isn't into that, but you might know somebody that is into that. Tap into that. Like, I have a guitar, right? I got an electric guitar. None of my friends, as far as I know, play the guitar. But I do know people who play the guitar. And I'm thinking about tapping into one of those people and saying, yo, what you know about guitar? Talk to me about playing the guitar. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to probably learn how to play the guitar. You know why? Because it's sitting there looking beautiful. And I'm tired of people saying, oh my gosh, she played the guitar. And I'm like, no. So I can change that by building relationships and buying the Xbox game where you can actually hook a real guitar up to it and play. I think it's called Rocksmith or something like that. But anyway, yes, black man, that is what I'm challenging y'all to do. Build a new relationship, or basically water a relationship that you've kind of let die down. That's my challenge for you, black men. And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we out of here. I want to thank y'all for the continued support. Thank you for rocking with your boy. I appreciate the words of encouragement. I appreciate the love. I just appreciate y'all, man. Been podding for a long time. This is my therapy. This makes me feel good on the inside. It makes me feel good on the outside. Shout out to my mentor, my brother, Craig King. I gotta shout you out. That's a relationship I'm gonna water some more and grow with. He was just on the podcast and he hit me up and told me how he enjoyed a couple of the other episodes I had and gave me some great words of encouragement. I love you, brother. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, take care of yourselves physically, mentally, financially, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.